Welcome back. This is week 5 of DFC's Chain Challenge. And wait a minute, why do you have toilet paper?
Oh, well, because I thought we were going to talk about the role of mentors. And because I like the analogy of there's a specific tool for every job. And sometimes it's not always clear what that tool is until you have the experience. And so consulting with somebody who's been there, done that before, or an expert, can help you find the right tool for the job. What did you bring?
Touche. Good job. I literally brought my tribe of mentors. I thought it'd be worth noting that if you wonder where my knowledge came from, I could literally fill this whole entire book with names of all of the people that I've consumed information from, starting from the moment I came out of the womb, which is probably too much information. But mentors are abundant. And I also brought a book because I wanted to point out there's a difference between a really great story and proven strategies. So, to put it in perspective, sometimes you hear a story like, oh my God, I just lost 10 pounds doing the blank diet, fill it in, and you get really excited, and then you find out like, hey, that didn't work for me, or it worked and it was temporary. So that would be a good story. And what I found is that really proven strategies are better than good stories. They lead you towards the process, how to make change, versus hitting the same end mark, goal, or destination that the other person made.
Yeah, and I think stories, it's easy to get excited about, but they may just not apply to your specific situation. And that's where an expert is going to be able to look at your specific situation and hopefully give you more specific advice. So what worked for one may not work for everyone.
Right, and the whole story isn't the point, it's that nitty-gritty detail. So, for example, if you lose 10 pounds, that's great and fantastic, but how did you do it? So instead of looking at the whole entire weight loss, maybe look for a role of a mentor, not toilet paper, who's gone through the process, and they can share information on food prep, because that's one of the pieces of the process that helps you lose weight.
Gotcha. And also, if you're struggling to find an expert, there's a few people doing the challenge who have expressed this. They have a very specific to them change that they're trying to make, and it's not the kind of thing that an expert's going to be able to help provide guidance on, or there's not an expert for their very specific change. So one thing you can do is broaden the scope of your own problem. So rather than looking at the very specific details of you and this problem in your life, try to pull back the lens a little bit and ask the question like, what's going on here? Like, what type of problem am I having? Look at the interaction from further away, and then you can generally find somebody who can give you, or who's an expert in that particular type of problem. And we all have experience with this where we're thinking about something totally unrelated to this epiphany that we suddenly have, where playing with your kids gives you an idea for how to engage with somebody at work. So it doesn't always have to be a super specific expert, especially if you have a super specific problem. You may have to come up a level.
Yeah, go back to the food prep thing. I might have realized food prep is where I need to put my energy, but then narrowing into the nitty-gritty, the problem with food prep for me is the timing. So I'm not going to type into Google, where's my food prep expert? I might type into Google, how long does it take to make chicken or rice in a pressure cooker? And then those experts in that very narrow sense would compile information that I would bring together in my brain and apply to my unique process of food prep.
Yeah. Key thing is, stay open, and the brainstorming process is just that. It's kind of stormy. Like, it's not always this linear, smooth progression. Sometimes you gotta just try to find another perspective.
Yeah, and while you're going about that process, you might run into some information that isn't so great, or it might not apply to your particular situation. So a good rule of thumb is to look at it all, and then look at what overlaps between them. So say you find 3 different ideas, ask yourself what's the same across the board, and then that's really where you're going to find the truth for your process.
Yeah, so these are some ideas for finding experts. Your tangible takeaway, so your homework for week 5 is to find and share your expert advice. So that can be in the form of a book.
Which you don't need to bring the whole book, just tell us about the specific advice you find in there.
Yep, it can be a video, a website, a TED Talk. What we're looking for though is from the source. So if you have a friend who told you about a thing, that's not really going to count. You need to go to the thing yourself, investigate it, and then specifically you need to share what you learned or what you're going to utilize from that advice.
Yeah. Do you want to ask me about any of my knowledge?
Yeah. Do you have any experts in there on quantum physics? Because I've really been just trying to cram more hours in the day, and I'm struggling.
Wait.
Do you have one?
Quantum physics? Yes. More hours in a day? That's a really shitty idea.